Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello all. Good evening. Happy Friday evening, of course. And this is the Club of the Man, 1993. And as always, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself. And we are here, pre-recorded again, because I gotta get caught up. We're hoping we're going to do 2 reviews tonight, but we are here for my review of this past Wednesday night's edition of AEW Dynamite. The March 1st, 2023 edition. And this show was the go-home show for Revolution. Takes place this coming Sunday, March 5th, 2023. I will be watching that show on Sunday. And it took place in San Francisco, California, which is the hometown of my good friend here on YouTube, the man that creative should never forget, the king of sound style himself, the one I always say, hashtag, please sign Robbie. Robbie One Kenobi. For a go-home show, I'll say it was solid. I didn't hate it. But, and I'll say this when I get to my preview and predictions for Revolution, which will be tomorrow afternoon. I will save those, for tomorrow afternoon and just get some other stuff caught up with tonight. But I will say that this was a solid. I think the card is strange a little bit. Come on, stop it here. Okay. The card is a little strange for Evolution. But at the same time, I don't hate it. It's just one of those instances where it's like, it could have been a little bit better. It should have been me. It should have been. No, not going back to that feud. But I think this show didn't quite hit the goal of a go-home show, but I can't say there's too many things I disliked about it. It just kind of feels like end of 2022, first few weeks of 2023, AEW was hot. Like, it felt like, they were getting out of their little funk they were in. They slowed down on the non-AEW talent. They slowed down on the Ring of Honor titles, like overpowering the show. Like it felt like they were starting to get back to their roots, but I don't know, ever since some of these matches for Revolution started becoming official, it felt they kind of like took it easy and coasted their way into the pay-per-view. So the build's been fine, but it just feels like it could have been a little bit better. And we'll talk about, of course, some of those things, as we get through this Dynamite review. So, without further ado, let's go for this. Now, I will say also this too before I continue on. I may try, not going to guarantee it because this room does not have as good of lighting as I thought. But I may try tomorrow for the Revolution preview predictions. I may pull out the green screen again and see how I do with that. if I can get it to work good, we'll use it maybe for like specials for now, just so I don't have to set it up every single time. But if not, I'll have to play around with some things a little bit more. So we'll see what happens. But of course, we're going to take a quick sig of my Chugamania Phillip Cup that I received from work just the other week. Alright, let's roll in. Let's talk about the show. So we opened up with an AEW All Atlantic Championship match. It was Orange Cassidy versus Big Bill Morrissey, or as formerly known as Big Ass. Because remember the big head blocking the C, big ass, all that stuff. The match was solid. I mean, oops, didn't mean to do that. I think overall the story here again throughout the night again was Stokely Hathaway. Of course, he had his cast on. I think it was either this match or later in the match, or later on the later match with Hook and Matt Hardy, where Stokely Hathaway's cast got knocked off. The story here with that is still really dumb. Like, Hook got suspended for hurting Stokely Hathaway. It still made no sense to me, in my opinion. But I thought this match was solid. Again, one of them they knocked off Stokely Hathaway's cast. And again, it was solid. Wasn't anything, groundbreaking. But Orange Cassidy won after hitting 3 orange punches on Big Bill. And got the win there. We then get a recap of Jon Moxley and Evil Uno last week. Then we got this promo from bloodied up faced Jon Moxley on the stairwell. Of course, the promo starts, he's walking into the stairwell. Immediately made me think of that first promo he had cut that he got recorded because he had back at Double or Nothing 2019. How he just walks into a room and just starts talking, just says what he's got to say. It literally took 2 minutes, and there you have a promo. It's not that hard, as he would mention, of course. Unlike WWE, taking a 30-second clip that takes 40 minutes to pre-tape. But anyways, he's sitting on the stairwell, face pouring blood, and he mentions that he can taste it, and it tastes like victory and life. And that's what he's all about, living his life to the fullest. He's a sick man, and he does it because he likes it. It's not something he's proud of or that he was aspired to be. He tells Hangman only one of them is going to come out of Revolution, and he reminds him that he wanted this. He tried to leave it alone, beat him once, with no credit for it. Hangman beats him with the worst injury he's had in his career, and then Mox beats him again, and he gets nothing for it. It's a fluke. It's not real. This time, he's not going to leave any doubt, and it's going to count. He admits that Hangman's a great wrestler, a great man, but he's not the same animal as Jon Moxley. There's only one room for one of us in AEW, and he will die trying to protect what he is. Good promo there for Moxley. Again, I think it's pretty safe to say they've gone heel with the Blackpool Combat Club. And I'm going to say this, because Jon Moxley, the past couple of pay-per-views, he's played the de facto heel role. They didn't want to make him a full-on heel, but again, they had the last pay-per-view, MJF was super hot at the time. People wanted MJF to get the victory and start his reign as AEW World Champion. Of course, we didn't realize he was going to change the belt and call it Triple B. So we got that. And then we also got, whenever he fought CM Punk in Chicago, he was the de facto heel there. I think for the longest time, because even in WWE, I've always thought Jon Moxley was a retainable babyface. Meaning that as a babyface, he was protected. I've always wanted to see him as a heel. I really think, if they're going to go through with it this time, go through with it. And again, it looks like, because Blackpool Combat Club even acted like heels in the Battle Royale that they were in later on in the show. The crowd give the fourth spot for this random ass Fatal 4-Way at Revolution. We'll talk about that later, of course. But yeah, great promo. Yeah, I feel like this is going to really lead Moxley to embrace more of the heel side in this Texas death match on Sunday, which should be good. Actually, it might open the show, in my opinion, but we shall see. The Elite came out, Carry On My Wayward Sons. Then the lights go out, and the lights come back on. House of Black are holding the trios titles, and the lights go out again on the stage. So I guess there was been teases on Rampage, and it was made official that we're going to be getting the Elite and the House of Black for the trios tag titles at Revolution. We'll talk about it when we get to the preview, but a little random. Again, they didn't really do any build, which makes me wonder who's going to actually win it, but I would like to see more build from this, because right now I'm looking at this match as kind of like this is like the start of something. But I also don't think House of Black should lose this match either. You know? So, we'll talk about it again more in my preview tomorrow. That's something in my eye. Damn it. We got it out. Okay, good. I think so. Anyways. But, so that happened there. Then we have the Face of the Revolution ladder match. So, obviously, again, we have a 1-hour main event. So I'm pretty sure that this was originally going to be on the card, but it had to get bumped. So instead we had a very great ladder match. Not the best ladder match I've seen. I still think, in AEW at least, Cody and Sammy in that ladder match last year around this time, I still think it's the best ladder match AEW has done. But this was still fun. We had Action Andretti, AR Fox, Eddie Kingston, Commander, who had a nice, big jump off the top rope and got a lot of height. Konosuke Takeshita, Ortiz, which out of the blue, him and Eddie Kingston are feuding. I don't watch Rampage much, so I don't know why they're feuding, because they were friends last I knew. Sammy Guevara, of course, always, pulls off crazy-ass moves. Powerhouse, Will Hobbs, who was the hometown favorite, as he apparently is from San Francisco. Like I said, match is great. Again, not all of these guys I thought really stood too much of a chance. We have AR Fox and Action Andretti, who's still new. Ortiz, I couldn't really see win. Sammy, maybe, but I don't think yet. I was thinking maybe either Eddie or Takeshita. At some point, I think we will get Takeshita versus Samoa Joe, which would be awesome. And, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs. But yeah, there's a Death Valley driver off the apron into a ladder. Falcon arrows into the ladders as well. Rope walk. Yeah, that was a rope walk shooting star press into AR Fox on the ladder. One of my favorite spots, though, I think Commander took Takeshita and hit a blue thunder bomb on him as well. Now, during the match, Daniel Garcia ran down to the ring and hit a rock bottom on Action Andretti. So he tried to help get Sammy to win by, of course, taking out, his competition, which, of course, the main target again was Action Andretti, and carrying Sammy up his shoulders up the ladder. Well, as that's happening, Takeshita knocks the ladder over and takes out Sammy with a vicious knee strike. But then Will Hobbs, though, shoves him off the ladder. Will Hobbs didn't do too much in this match. But he came out of nowhere. He knocked Takeshita off the ladder, bent it a little. It was a little odd, though, seeing the referee get involved and try to help him fix the ladder. But Will Hobbs climbs in his hometown. He wins the 2023 Face of the Revolution ladder match. And next week on Dynamite, he will face the winner of the TNT title match, Samoa Joe and Wardlow, at Dynamite next Wednesday. Of course, Samoa Joe and Wardlow do have a match at Revolution this coming Sunday for the TNT title. And afterwards, the three of them were jawing each other, but then, of course, Powerhouse was sitting on his chair with holding the ring going, I got time. So, we'll see what happens on Sunday with all that. Wardlow, of course, also did power through some security guys also, as Joe did run away. We have Renee Paquette being interviewed backstage, advising that Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta aren't clear for tonight's Casino Battle Royale, and then Danhausen and Orange Cassidy take their places in the match. Talk about that in a bit. Chris Jericho then pretty much squashes Pretty Peter Avalon. Afterwards, though, Jericho continues to wail Floyd onto Avalon until Ricky Starks makes the save. And the same thing as we've been getting, Ricky Starks gets taken out by the Jericho Appreciation Society, who apparently are banned from ringside with their match on Sunday. Again, keep my thoughts and save them for the preview for this, because I feel a little meh about this match on Sunday. But again, we'll talk about it in a bit. We got Hangman Adam Page here, talking about Dark Order. And he talked to him earlier today, and he doesn't think Alex Reynolds meant anything by it, but he asked if Hangman was afraid of losing. Mox can't take his memory because it's gone. He can't take the feeling in the tips of his fingers because it's gone. But he can't take Mox's spot on the top of the food chain, and in the end, he'll be the man left standing. He doesn't enjoy violence. He hates it. But on Sunday, he'll be the most violent and bloodthirsty SOB he can be, because that's the only way he can win in a Texas death match. One of two ways: live or die. And Sunday, after their match, Jon Moxley will not be the same. Like I said, that'd be a pretty good hot opener if you ask me, doing Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page over the show, that Texas death match. Could be a way to get the crowd all hot. Alright, then we got Christian Cage coming out. And he talks about he wants to blur the lines of reality. He mentions how for the past 6 months he embarrassed Jungle Boy and beat him down at will. He was done with him until Jungle Boy mentioned that he wants to win a singles title in 2023. And Christian Cage says, over my dead body, that's what I am going to be doing this year. He doesn't want to just win, he wants to beat someone for it. That's rhetorical because he already knows the answer after Jungle Boy jumped him from behind like a coward and hesitated. And what happened? And then he got hit in the crotch, this and that. He can't figure out, though, why Jungle Boy wants to win a title and why he doesn't care about the prestige. He just wants to impress people. And people like him are a dime a dozen. But Christian is one of one. He treats his business like an ATM machine. He's not done milking it dry. But it needs to end. So he's got a challenge for Jungle Boy Sunday. Not a wrestling match, not a fight. No rules, no regulations, just a fight. So basically no holds barred, I'm guessing. And if he does show up, though, he's just his father's son. Just like his father, he's a no-talent hack who should be thankful he's got good looks to skim by on it. He's not a closer. He doesn't have any grit. He doesn't have any ounce of what Christian Cage has. Then we see some video of Jungle Boy digging a grave lit by headlights, and it was basically a grave that said Christian Cage on it, and Christian had like nothing to say. So, don't know what that tease is all about. I know some people were saying online maybe this could be teased for a Buried Alive match. I don't think we're going that far, but it'd be interesting to see if they did do that, though. But we'll see what happens Sunday. But this match, I'm excited for. Yes, they kind of like veered away from it and like didn't like. It wasn't like one of those matches where like, they kept the thought in the back of your head, like, yeah, this person's just going to be coming back eventually, like they did with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. But I still am excited to see them fight on Sunday. So we got that happening there. Then backstage, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter are being interviewed. And Jamie says she doesn't know what's going to be sweeter, beating one bitch or two. And then Britt tells Saraya she can watch two former champs duke it out, but she'll never have the belt. And Jamie tells her to try some shenanigans because she'll be there and watching. We'll talk about that, of course, in a second, too. Hook beat Matt Hardy. And I guess since Hook beat him, he earned a match against Stokely Hathaway with the firm ban from ringside. Okay. House of Black cut a promo where Malachi talks about the fear that eats at the soul, and they'll leave the titles here because they belong to the Elite. But just know on Sunday that you've already lost them. Again, just briefly build. Toni Storm has a match with Riho, and thanks to some help from Saraya, she beats Riho with a schoolboy pin. Afterwards, Toni and Britt brawl, and Saraya and Jamie Hayter brawl. Riho comes out and starts brawling with her two opponents on Sunday, and the referees break them up. Still not really story development as to why Saraya all of a sudden, okay, we can tell what's predicting, but she still has not really quite addressed it yet. But maybe after Revolution, we'll see. We'll talk about this match also in my preview as well. Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee cut a promo basically saying that they're going to try to take care of the Mogul affiliates. So I guess they're holding off on the Swerve and Keith Lee match, which fine, because again, Revolution already has plenty of matches and a 1 hour match included in that. And I also still gotta say this, I'm sorry, but Keith Lee has got to get his hair fixed. I just don't like the gray. He looks so old. I don't see him as what he was before. A serious world champion contender. I see him as an old man now, so I hope he gets that fixed. We had this this tag team battle royale for the 4th spot in the Fatal 4-Way ladder match on Sunday. The teams were 2.0, Aussie Open, which is Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis from New Japan, the Beaver Boys, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Blackpool Combat Clubs, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, Butcher the Blade, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, La Faction, which is Preston Vance and Roosh, Lucha Bros, The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett from Ring of Honor, Top Flight, all battled again in the Casino Battle Royale for the last spot in this tag title match. Other than really, the run-ins with the Blackpool Combat Club and Dark Order, and how Wheeler Yuta and Claudio was acting a little bit more like heels in this match. This match was skippable. Especially also whenever they didn't have FTR come back. Here they're still on vacation or something like that. When they didn't bring them back, I was kind of it made me kind of feel why did, if we weren't going to bring them back, why did we even do this match? I don't quite understand why they did this match in the end, but because the winners of this match was Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. I guess it's the team to eat the pin, but at this point I'm just why didn't you guys just do the Guns versus the Acclaimed? Why did you have to throw in Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, which I still don't understand what the obsession is with Jeff Jarrett. So now I feel like it's kind of pointless, in my opinion. So we had that, and after that we had all the 4 teams get in there and just brawl with each other and beat each other down. Then we get a video package for Bryan Danielson MJF. After commercial, Bryan comes in and Renee Paquette is interviewing him. She brings up MJF and says that he was inspired by Bryan. And Bryan talks about unretiring and how he said, if you fight for your dreams will fight for you. MJF comes out, but for one of the first times, MJF, I don't think, didn't talk. As Bryan interrupted him and tells him to shut up for once in his life. And he's heard him say all these things and why he hates him. And Bryan lays out the reasons and says MJF thinks he deserves all these things, but he hasn't earned them, and he's done nothing to fight for them. MJF has taken every shortcut he can to become AEW World Champion, and if there's one thing he deserves is his fiancée leaving him, which got a pop in the crowd. shoulders to mats, and banging rats. Is that it? Doesn't seem like somebody he wants his daughter to marry. And MJF took his jacket off to get ready to fight, but Bryan's ready to fight anytime. He's fought depression, poverty, and shoulder injuries, and brain injuries, and the authority, referring to Stephanie and Triple H. He's fought for everything. Before he came here, he had a job that would pay him for the rest of his life, but he still left and came to AEW because he wanted to fight. His new dream, since he's come here, is to be AEW World Champion. And he's willing to fight for it. So at this Sunday Revolution, MJF better be ready to fight with everything you have for 60 full minutes. And if not, he'll kick his fucking head in. Which, of course, got a bunch of bleeps, and MJF was stunned. This is one of the only times I could think of that MJF had come out and he did not cut a promo. Interesting there on that part. But yeah, a good promo by Bryan. I like how he kind of got MJF just to shut up, basically, and not speak a word, and kind of like kept him quiet again. It's not too often you've seen MJF do that, let's put it that way. But that's my review of not Rampage, Dynamite. I thought it was a decent, a solid show. Again, the only thing I really didn't like was that Casino Battle Royale. It just wasn't my thing, but I gave the show a B-. B- to be fair, because everything else wasn't that harmless. Like I said, it just felt like it could have been a little bit better. But that is all, of course, I will say. And that's my review, guys, of AEW Dynamite, the go-home show for Revolution 2023. Give it about a B-. What are you guys' thoughts on this episode of Dynamite? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, The Club with the Man 93. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Club with the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I think I'm just going to go to bed now because I am tired. So I will catch up on the rest of my stuff tomorrow. SmackDown review, maybe a couple baseball videos. Definitely my Revolution preview and predictions. And then, of course, also finish editing the Evergreen Gardens Let's Play for Roller Coaster Tycoon. And get this lighting stuff figured out here as well. So, guys, until then, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And don't forget, guys, for I am the man himself.